new month and all that, January done and dusted. And I was reading an article in the paper this week, and it was saying that the NHS have just put a new questionnaire online, and you can fill it out to work out how healthy you are. So I thought, oh, I'll give that one a go. So I went to the website, and the very first question that you're asked, and it's all on a sliding scale of 0 to 100, 0 being the worst and 100 being the best, or whatever question they're asking you. So the very first question they asked you was, how are you feeling right now? And the alternatives were bottom end of scale, really knackered, top end of scale, full of beans. Okay. And another question in that particular group of questions about how are you feeling right now was, how are you feeling right now? Down in the dumps and over the moon. So those are the kind of questions that you can expect in the little survey. And I would imagine that most of us on any given day are kind of midway between those two extremes. But the good thing about those extremes is it's a sliding scale. And every time we did that questionnaire, our responses would be very different. And just like it's worth asking ourselves that very question, how are you feeling right now? Every time you come onto your mat, because every time we come onto our mat, so again, we've got that sliding scale. We might be really knackered. We might be full of beans. And yoga works on this basis that we have lots of different layers to our being. And we've got our physical being, but also it's worth checking in with ourselves and asking ourselves that question on an energetic and on an emotional level. And it will shift at any given day. So if we start our practice today, we're going to start with that very question. So as you come to lie yourself down, getting yourself nice and comfortable. So you might want to pop something underneath your head, or you can get a blanket if you're in a chilly room. It's a nicer day than it was last week, hey? Let's bring our feet to the floor. Very gently interlace your hands behind your head. So you can point your elbows up towards the sky, lift your head up off the floor, and just give a little rock side to side with your head, just easing into the neck. We're beginning to emerge from that winter-like, really chilly spell we had, but necks and shoulders might still be feeling it. So let's just release the head back down to the floor, hopefully lengthening out through the neck. As you bring the arms down by the side of the body, we're going to keep the knees bent so we can pick up the hips, tuck the tailbone in towards you, and feel like you're lengthening your tailbone down towards your heels before you gently lower your hips back down to the floor. You might want to do that a couple of times. So we've opened up some space in the back of the neck and in the lower back. And then from there, the arms might come down by the side of the body. It might be a hand on your chest, a hand on your belly as you close your eyes and arrive this morning at your practice. And let's ask ourselves that question. How are we feeling right now on this Wednesday morning? And we'll start with that outer layer, that physical being. So just taking a quick scan through the body, just noticing any aches or pains that might be new, or an old issue or injury that you're nursing today that you're just going to have to be a little bit mindful of. Noticing any pockets of tension that you might be harboring, typically as it has been chilly around our shoulders and into our face. And then let's ask ourselves that very same question. How are we feeling right now on the next layer, on the energetic layer? Again, every time we come to the mat, we'll feel a little bit different, whether we practice in the morning or the evening, after a busy day. The weekend will feel very different. So just check in with yourself on an energetic level. And on that sliding scale, where are you feeling today? And then finally, asking ourselves that question on the next layer down, on that emotional layer. Our emotions will change again on that sliding scale, not just from day to day, but hour by hour. depending on what we're dealing with, how our day is going. So how are you feeling right here, right now? It's with curiosity and compassion we ask ourselves that question, not with any sense of judgment or that we should be anywhere different on that scale. It is what it is. We are where we are, working with what we've got. This morning, as you gently, if you've got your hands on your body, just bring the arms down by the side of you, turning your palms down to the floor. Bearing all of that in mind, the answers to the question you just asked yourselves. Let's reach the arms up towards the sky, drop some weight into your shoulders as you start to turn your wrists, little circles in the wrists this morning. Warming up into the joints, first one way, and then let's take the hands around in the opposite direction. Little circles, little twirls. And then coming to stillness with your fingers pointing up and your palms away from you. Let's bring the hands all the way back behind you or into a nice wide V shape if your shoulders are feeling a little tight today. Lengthening through the side of the body and then all the way up and back down by the side of you, palms flat to the floor. So working with the breath as you inhale all the way up and back. Trying to soften your rib cage and then exhaling all the way back down. A few more like that. So as you're lifting the arms up above the head, we're trying not to pick up the rib cage. So the upper back stays nice and grounded on your mat. Let's do that one more time. Nice big breath in to reach up and back, spreading the fingers nice and wide. And we'll come all the way back down. And then this next time, we'll bring the arms up and over the top of the head. And let's pause there now as you reach back through the fingertips, stretching one leg out in front of you and then the other. And now let's circle wrist and ankles, or the ankle click on my part there. So some little circles, one way that clearly needed to be moved. And then round the opposite direction. Lovely. And then bringing the palms up to the sky. So just laying the back of the hands on the floor if you've lifted your arms. You're going to point the fingertips back, point the toes, and this time maybe arch your back a little bit, lifting your chest up. And then slowly release, walking the heels in towards your bottom as you lower the arms. And let's bring the feet hip width apart now. Picking up your right knee, let's bring it in towards your chest, giving it a nice squeeze, softening your upper body as you hug that knee in, getting a nice stretch out through the low back. And then interlacing the hands around the back of that right thigh. Let's take the leg up to the sky and a little hamstring stretch, bending the knee as much as you need to. And then bend the knee, the heel comes to your bottom. So we'll do that twice more. Inhale, we extend and stretch, flexing the foot, and exhale, release. Let's do that one more time. So a nice stretch up to the sky, soft bend in the knee, and then release. Let's come up and hold now. So taking that leg up towards the sky. And we'll point and flex the foot now. So the front and the back of the ankle getting a good stretch. Chin stays tucked in, neck stays nice and long. And then we'll push the heel up and away from you, flexing that foot. Lovely. Drop some weight into the back of your hips. And then using your left hand, bring that right leg across the body. So your buttock will probably lift off the floor as we carry the leg across the body, outer thigh stretch, back to center. And then catching the leg from underneath, open out to the right. Lovely, back to center. Bringing the leg across the body, over to the left. Flexing the foot, back to center. And this time as you let the leg open to the right, maybe roll that left knee open, coming onto the outside edge of the foot. Lovely, coming all the way back up through the middle, hooking your right ankle over your left knee. Just press that knee away from you. And add some gentle rocks from side to side. Seeing how that feels. Just moving gently into the joints, coming into a gentle reclined pigeon. And then slowly release. Let's bring that foot to the floor. And we'll swap sides. So bring the left knee up and in. Just pause there in that little squeeze in towards the chest. And then holding around the back of the leg, we'll take the leg up to the ceiling, seeing how that feels in your hamstring stretch. And then rebend the knee, bottom to heel. So as we inhale, we stretch up and exhale, release. Let's do that one more time. So try not to lift your lower back off your mat. And we'll take the leg up and pause now. So leg extended, toes pull down towards your face. And again, we'll point and flex the foot. Lovely. And then keeping the foot flexed, this time use your right hand. Bring that leg all the way across the body so your buttock will lift off the mat. Outer thigh stretch back to the center. And then let that leg open out to the side, catching it from underneath. So an inner thigh stretch. Back to center. And over to the right. So bringing that leg across the body. And back to the center. And this time as you let the leg open to the left, maybe roll onto the outside edge of that right foot. We'll come back to center. Crossing left ankle over right knee. Use your left hand to press the knee away from you, and we'll just rock this morning, gently easing into the hips, moving side to side there. Lovely. And then releasing, bringing that left knee back in towards your chest, and this time bring the right knee up to join it, one hand on each knee. Any back issues, feel free to bring both feet back down to the floor underneath you. So give those knees a nice tight squeeze in towards your chest. Try and keep them there as you bring your arms out level with your shoulders, top of a letter T. Snuggle those shoulder blades down the mat as you tick-tock the knees over to the right, just by about halfway. And then we'll come back up through the middle and we'll change direction, little tick-tock over to the left. So inhaling to center, exhaling, so we're not coming all the way down to the floor, we're just tick-tocking from side to side, might be just a couple of centimeters or so, depending on how the back feels. When you come back to the middle, just pause for a moment. Now you can carry on doing exactly that, or if you want more, lift your heels away from your bottom and just bring your knees slightly away from your chest so they're stacked on top of your hips. And then we resume that little rock from side to side. So if you've got your legs extended away from you, that's going to be more work on the low back, more work on the abdominals. So you just see how that feels this morning. Maybe that's a little bit too much for the back. Lovely. Let's do one more over to the left side. And when you come back from the left this next time, pause. And then bring both knees over to the right. And this time let them come all the way down into a twist. So you can slide the knees further away from you. You can scoot them up towards your belly. As you stretch the arms out, maybe bring your right hand down onto that top knee. Maybe turn your head away from your knees and just find that nice rotation through the spine, seeing how that feels this morning. A few nice breaths there. Lovely, and then releasing the arms. Big breath in to bring the knees back up through the middle. Over to the other side, and again, the closer the knees up towards your belly, the deeper the rotation in the spine, so you can have a little play with what feels right for you there. And sliding them further away from you if it's a little bit too much for your back. Lovely. And then we'll roll onto our backs. One hand on each knee, give those knees a nice squeeze. And maybe this time slide your shoulders away from your ears and bring your nose up towards your knees, keeping the chin tucked in. And then lowering down, holding behind your knees. You can rock up to seated, or you can just roll up and over to join me seated. I'm going to sit cross-legged, but it really is up to you if that works for you. You can always stretch the legs out in front of you. Fingertips down, either side of the body, just lift the chest up a little bit, open up through the heart. And as we inhale, arms lift up. And exhale, hands to heart. Let your chin drop. Just open up into the back of the neck. Let's do that twice more. Deep breath in, sweeping the arms up to the sky. And then hands coming down, down, down to your hearts. Lovely. One more time. Big breath in. Reaching up nice and tall. And hands to heart. Lovely. We're going to add on. So we're going to sweep the arms up. And this time, bring the hands behind you. So I'm turning my fingertips towards me and keeping the elbows bent. So I prop myself up on my fingertips, pressing the hips forwards, the chest forwards. Maybe lifting your chin up as we come into that lovely chest stretch. And then slide your right hand out to the side. Left arm comes up and over into a nice side bend. So maybe just relax into that arm for a moment. And then see if you can push a little bit more actively into that right hand and send your ribs over to the left. So you can tuck your chin in and look up if you want more. Lovely. Big breath in to come up through the middle. And breathing out, once more, hands spin behind you, up onto your fingertips. Pressing the fingertips down, lifting up through the chest, maybe lifting your chin. And then we'll slide left hand out to the side this time, right arm up and overhead. And again, just relax into that left arm to begin with. And now actively press into that left arm, sending your rib cage out to the side, stretching over the top. You can tuck your chin in for more. Lovely. This time we'll reach up, take an inhale, straight into a twist as you exhale, round to the right, bringing the left hand either onto your knee or maybe just straight in front of you as you turn the body round. Lovely. And then keeping the right hand where it is, take a big arc of that left arm all the way up, both hands behind you. And this time I'm going to bring my palms flat to the floor so I can lean into my hands. Separate your knees and your feet hip width apart. And now pressing into your hands, lift your chest, lift your chin. Keeping the feet planted as you find that lovely space across the chest. And release. If you had your legs crossed, maybe use this as an opportunity to cross them the opposite way, if you can remember. Inhale, reach up. Let's twist around to the left now. So right hand coming across the body, other hand behind you as you lift yourself up, maybe turning your head. Oh, seeing how that feels. And then last time, right arm this time takes that big circle, bringing both arms behind you, palms flat, fingertips forwards or slightly out to the side as once more you separate your feet. Pressing into your hands, opening up through the chest, keeping the gaze up rather than back. Option to lift the hips, maybe walk your feet a little further forward as you come into an up face plank. Lovely, keeping the gaze up to the sky rather than the wall behind you as you press down through the feet. Take an inhale wherever you are and exhale. Let's all lower ourselves down, cross one ankle in front of the other and give yourself a nice big hug. Lovely. And from there, let's find our way round onto all fours. So you can roll over your feet or find your way onto all fours safely. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips there. So just for a moment, everything that's touching the ground, press down into those points. So your hands, your shins, the tops of your feet, feeling a little bit of engagement through your belly. And keeping that pressure through the hands as you inhale, let's lift the chest, coming into our cat and our cow. And exhaling, rounding the back like an angry cat. So closing the eyes maybe here so you can enjoy the sensations rather than worrying about what you look like. Moving back and forth with your breath. Finding all of that lovely space in the front body and then the back body. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, heart pulls forwards. And as you find your angry cat this next time, we'll pause, pressing your hands down, hugging belly button to spine. And this time we'll bring your bottom back towards your heels into a child pose. Walk your hands forward so you're up on those fingertips again. Forehead might be just resting between your arms, maybe touching the ground, depends on how your shoulders feel. Now as you inhale, press into your fingertips and just lift your gaze to look forward. So we just lift the chest and then exhale, release back down. Twice more, so inhale, pressing down, we lift the chest, just look forwards. And then exhale, release one more time, little lift, it's not a big lift. And this time as you come down, allow your palms to come to the floor, finding your way back onto all fours. This time separating your knees and bring your big toes together. So we've got a nice wide base there. And from there, start to draw little circles with the body, warming up into the wrists and the hips. So as your weight comes forwards over the wrists, keep the palms planted down. Might be big movements, it might be smaller movements this morning. Maybe it becomes more of a figure of 8 shape with the body. And whatever shape you're making, just change direction now. So send your body round the opposite way, getting into those hips, warming up through the wrists. Again, it might become a little bit more bespoke to how you're feeling. One more rotation or figure of 8, and coming back to stillness, bringing your hands directly underneath your shoulders. We'll keep those knees wide and big toes together. As you reach your right arm up to the sky, we'll take an inhale. And exhale, we're going to feed your right arm under your left arm as we thread the needle. So inhale, arm lifts up, chest comes forwards. And then exhale, we feed the arm through. Lovely, one more time. Big breath in to reach up. And then feed the arm all the way underneath. Lovely. Let's take the right arm up to the sky and hold there now. The weight over that left hand so the joints are stacked as you spread the arms apart. And then lower the hand down and we'll swap sides. So pressing into your right hand, left arm lifts this time. Big breath in. And breathing out, we feed the arm underneath. So inhaling, bringing the chest forwards, arms open. And exhale, feed the arm through. Let's do that one more time. So big breath in, no rush. And stretching the arm underneath. And this time we'll take that left arm up to the sky and pause, stretching the arms apart. And then bringing both hands onto your shoulders. Go ahead and just bring your knees under your hips and separate your feet. Back down into that child pose, bottom to heels. This time we'll keep the palms flat to the floor. But this time as we come up, we're going to extend your right leg all the way back behind you and maybe lift your left arm up at the same time. If that doesn't work, you can always keep your hand on the floor there. Lovely. Hand and knee back underneath you. We'll come back into that child pose. And we'll swap sides, left leg, right arm. Remember, you can keep the fingertips on the floor or just work the arm or the leg. And come back down. Let's add the breath. Inhale, right leg, left arm, extend. And exhale, come all the way back into that child pose. Left leg, right arm. Inhale, extend. And exhale back down. One more each way. So again, just seeing how balance feels. Thumb up towards the sky if you're lifting that front arm. Last time with our left leg and our right arm. And we'll all meet in that child pose. So let's come up with your right leg, your left arm extended and hold this time, lifting that front arm a little bit higher as you reach out. Maybe try a little diagonal lift, taking the limbs out to the side before coming back to center, bringing the hand back to the floor and crossing your right foot over your left foot. Ball a foot to floor, push the floor away as you look over that left shoulder. So you're looking to the back of your mat. Lovely. Coming all the way back to center. Just turn around. We're going to take that right leg all the way out to the side, lining up your big toe with your knee. Walking your hands back. So we're coming up into a gate pose, reaching the arms out. Remember, you can always bend that knee if that feels better for your hip. We'll take an inhale and come over the top as you exhale. Again, you can tuck your chin in if that feels good. Beautiful. Come all the way back through the middle. Bring your hands onto your hips and we're going to step that right foot forwards. Let me just turn around on the mat. So we're in a low lunge, right foot forwards. Now allow the body weight just to sink forward so we get a nice stretch in the front of that left hip. And then push the floor away so you feel that the body comes back, shoulders over hips. Lovely, reaching both arms up to the sky. Coming into that lovely lunge, maybe the arms are apart, maybe you can bring the palms to touch, maybe you can lift up, whatever feels good for you this morning. We're taking inhale in that lunge and exhaling, bringing the hands to the heart. You're going to make a fist with your left hand and punch it against your right palm. So just that left hand makes a fist. We'll take an inhale and exhale, we'll twist to the right towards your knee. Inhale to center. And we'll do that twice more, same direction, over to the right, body turning to right. Inhale to center. Last time, we'll twist to the right. Pause, shift the weight forwards and bring your left elbow over that right knee or thigh. And now push your palm into your fist into your palm as you turn your chest towards the right there. See if you can lift your belly away from that thigh. Lovely. And slowly, slowly release, bring the hands down. We'll step back onto all fours, take an inhale, bottom to heels as you exhale. And maybe you want to stay here today, or let's start to flow. Inhale onto all fours, and exhale, coming down onto your tummy, elbows skim the ribs. Picking up your chest, breath in, bottom to heels, breathing out. Twice more with me, if that feels good. If you choose to rest instead, go ahead and do exactly what feels right for you today. If you're with me last time, we'll inhale back up onto all fours and exhale down onto your tummy. Lovely, inhaling up and exhaling. Let's all meet in that child pose. Bottom to heels, pausing for a moment, maybe forehead resting on the floor. Lovely. Let's come back onto all fours, this time extending left leg, right arm. Let's take an inhale. And exhale, coming back down into that child pose, back to our little routine. Right leg, left arm, inhale, extend away. And exhale back down into that child pose. We'll do one more each way. Left leg, opposite arm. Maybe you're just lifting the leg, maybe just the arm. Last time with that right leg. Coming all the way back down. So this next time we'll come up, lifting left leg and right arm and pause this time. So join me there. Lifting that front arm a little higher. Maybe trying that little diagonal balance. Ooh, coming all the way back. Bringing the hand down and crossing your left foot over your right foot. Push the heel away and maybe look towards the back of your mat. Keep pressing into your hands, belly button to spine. Lovely. And then we'll bring that left leg all the way out to the side, level with your opposite knee, walking the hands back. So we'll all meet in that gate pose on the other side. Remember, again, you can bend your knee if you need to. Let's take an inhale as you press the hips forwards and coming over the top into that lovely gate pose. Beautiful, back to center. Let's bring the hands to the hips and then we'll step your left foot forward. So let me just move so you can see me there. Beautiful. And allow the weight to sink. So again, we're getting a nice stretch in the front of that right hip. And then push the floor away so the body lifts up. Beautiful. And from there, arms lift up. Again, you can keep them nice and wide apart, or you can maybe bring the palms to touch above your head, whatever feels good there. Keep pressing into that front foot. And then hands coming down, down, down to your heart. This time we make a fist with your right hand and punch it into your left palm. We'll take an inhale. And this time we twist to the left. Opposite way, so you're moving towards that bent knee. Inhale to center. And exhale, we're twisting towards that front leg, same direction. Inhale to center. Last time to come round to the left, pause. Shift the weight forwards, elbow over knee. And we press the hands together, punching the fist into your palm, palm pressing down so you can spin your heart towards your hands. Lovely. And from there, release, bring the hands down. We'll step back onto all fours as you inhale. Bottom to heels as you exhale. And remember, you can stay there. Or again, those little flows with me. Inhaling to all fours and down onto your belly as you exhale. Back up through middle, inhale. And bottom to heels. Twice more if it feels good today. Inhale. If you want to have a little rest, have a little rest. Sliding your way back up through cobra. And then bottom to heels. One more time if that feels good this morning. We'll all meet in that child pose, pausing there for a moment, arms stretched out in front of you. Lovely. And then from there, finding your way back onto all fours, but this time we'll tuck our toes under. From there, walk your hands back towards your knees. And from there, pick up your knees and come into a little squat at the back of your mat. Have a little look if you're confused. If you don't like that on your knees, your ankles, you can come into a forward fold and we'll meet you there. If you can, holding that squat for a beat, just allowing the heels to drop down so we're getting a nice stretch out through the back of the ankles, chin tucked in. And then we'll all push the hips up, softening the knees as you come into a forward fold. Maybe cradle your elbows, have a little sway of the body side to side. So we're at the back of our mats there, releasing the body down. And then letting the arms dangle, rolling, rolling, rolling up to stand. Your head comes up last. Slowly rise up. Beautiful. We're going to take the arms all the way up to the sky, turning the palms forwards. Catching hold of your right wrist or forearm. We'll take an inhale to reach up. And an exhale to come over the top. Lovely, inhale through center. Swapping sides as you exhale, a little tug up and over. Lovely, one more time, inhale. Exhale as you come over the top, just gentle tug on that right wrist. Inhale to center. And the same with the left hand, up and over. Lovely, inhaling to center. This time as you exhale, bring the hands behind you and bring them onto your lower back with your fingertips pointing the floor. It's like you're slotting them in your jeans pocket. Lift the shoulders, lift the chest as you gently press the hips forwards. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold, sliding the hands down the backs of the legs. Hands to shins or thighs. As you inhale, lift up halfway. And as you exhale, fold back down. And bending the knees, we're going to come back into a downward dog. So feet stay where they are. We just pad the hands forwards back into your downward facing dog. From your downward dog, turn your left foot out about 45 degrees. And then we'll step your right foot forwards towards the top of the mat, getting ready for a warrior one. So make sure your feet are hip width apart. So when you rise on up into that warrior, your hips are facing the front of your mat there. Again, as you press out through both feet, so I'm not collapsing in that back leg, I'm pushing out actively through the heel. Maybe again, the palms can touch above the head or you keep them apart. Lifting up nice and tall. Palms facing inwards now, so go ahead and separate your hands. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, sweep the arms back behind you like a Superman cloak. Strong in the legs. Inhale, arms lift up. And exhale, we sweep the arms back like that Superman cloak. Lovely. One more time, take an inhale, reach up. And exhale, palms are facing inward as your fingertips point back. Finding your way back into that warrior. And from there, bring both hands onto your front thigh, one hand on top of the other. So you're going to lean into that front leg and just see if you can step that back foot in by about halfway. Let me just move a little bit. So most of the weight is on that front foot. And just see if you can lift that back foot off the floor a couple of times, just rocking backwards and forwards as we explore balance. And you might want to stay here today. Or you might be able to shift the weight, start to lift that back leg, keeping the toes out as you come into a little half moon balance, maybe lifting that leg. Maybe if you're feeling brave, you take that left arm up to the sky. Keep the gaze down, keep the softness in that front knee. Wherever you are, woo, it's all good. And then slowly land that back foot back into your warrior one. Arms lift up, we'll take an inhale. All the way down to the floor as you exhale. Stepping back into your downward dog. Now you can drop to knees, you can stay there. Or join me as you inhale forwards to plank. And as you exhale, bring your knees down, your chest down, elbows hug in. Little baby cobra, sliding the chest forwards and up. And exhale will come down onto your belly. Pushing up through all fours. And from all fours, bottom to heels, take a moment in that child pose. Lovely. Let me just turn around so I can face you. We're going to try that all on the other side. So coming back up onto all fours, this time tucking the toes under, walking your hands back towards your knees, picking up your knees. So again, we're in a little squat at the back of your mat, or again, coming up into that forward fold. Lovely, wherever you are, let's push the hips up. So we'll all meet in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Again, you can bend your knees, you can sway the body softly from side to side, feeling that heaviness down through the crown of the head. And then slowly, slowly release the arms. Let's roll our way up to stand. Beautiful, a bit more energy now as you inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Lovely. Pushing off through the feet, so bend the knees as you inhale, reach up, 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 up. Oops. And exhaling, hands to heart. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. This time we'll inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, hands behind you, either interlacing them or hands on your bottom. Depends on how your shoulders feel. If you've interlaced them, palms are open. We draw the knuckles down, lifting the chest forwards. Lovely, take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold forwards and maybe lift the arms up and over, or you can come straight into a forward fold. Pausing there as you open up through the shoulders. And from there, let's all release the hands, firstly onto your low back, and then fingertips to floor, shins or thighs, lifting up halfway, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we'll pad into that downward facing dog. So feet stay where they are. We just walk the hands forwards. You can have a little pedal out with the feet when you get there if that feels good. And then this time, I'm going to turn your right toes out to the side. I'm going to step your left foot forwards. So left foot coming forwards this time. Lovely. And when you're ready, we'll rise on up into that warrior. So we've got our left foot forwards this time, reaching the arms up towards the sky. And again, maybe the palms come together, maybe the arms stay apart as you press down evenly through both feet. And then we're ready for that Superman cloak. So reaching the arms up, we'll take an inhale and exhale, sweep the arms back behind you, palms face in. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, sweeping the arms all the way back behind you. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in to rise up. And sweeping the arms back as you exhale. Lovely. Let's reach the arms up. And this time, hands come onto that front thigh, one hand on top of the other. Push off your front foot. So you just hop or step that back foot in, so on the ball of the back foot. And again, we start with that little rock back and forth. Maybe we just stay here, lifting and lowering. That back leg. And maybe if you can, you start to lift that back leg. Little softness in the front knee as you lift the leg. Toes stay lightly turned out to the side. Maybe you take that right arm up to the sky if that feels good today. If not, don't worry. Beautiful, wibbles are good. Let's all land that back foot back up into our warrior one. Reaching the arms up. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the hands down, and we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Option to have a little rest, or again, join me, rolling the body forwards to plank as you inhale. Knees lifted or lowered, yogi's choice as you come all the way down. Inhaling into your cobra, peel those shoulders away from the ears. And exhale to come all the way down. Let's push back onto all fours. From all fours, we'll meet in downward dog. And from your downward dog, walk your hands towards your feet. So again, we're at the back of your mat. Rising on an inhale, sweeping the arms out and up. Hands coming to heart. Beautiful. So we're at the back of our mats. And trying to keep the gaze forwards rather than down now, having confidence in ourselves. Going to shift the weight into your left foot so you can peel your right heel off the floor. And then from there, pick up your right knee. Take a baby step forwards with that right foot. Shift the weight into that right foot so we can start to lift that back leg, coming into your warrior three today. Slowly, slowly, left knee to chest. You can touch down in between sides. And then a little baby step forwards with that left foot. Right leg lifts this time. Right knee to chest. Little baby step forwards. Left leg lifts. Last time, we're going to lift that left knee up. Don't worry if you come off your mat. Stepping that foot forwards. Little baby step as you lift the right leg up. I'm near my wall. And then slowly, slowly, right knee to chest. And then bring both feet underneath you. Come back onto your mat if you need to. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up, take an inhale. All the way down as you exhale. Lifting up halfway, take an inhale. This time, right leg, big step back into your warrior two. So go ahead and line up your feet and then use that right arm to lead the way up into your warrior two. Arms out nice and wide. Adjust your front foot. Beautiful. Palms up to the sky. And as you inhale, straighten the legs. Take the arms up. And exhale, hands to your heart as you re-bend that front knee. So arms out and up. Inhale, big breath in. And hands coming to heart. Exhale, lovely. We could do that one more time. Inhaling up. And exhaling down, holding in that warrior two now as you separate the arms, looking over those front fingertips. Lovely. As you inhale, take that left arm all the way up and back into your reverse warrior. And as you exhale, take that side angle, forearm to thigh, top arm up or up and over. Lovely. One more time. Inhale, big sweep up all the way back. And exhale, feel free to bring that left hand a little bit down, lower down the leg if that feels good today. Last time to reverse. And this time we're going to take a big windmill of both hands down, framing that front foot. Take a little pivot on the back foot, listen up. You can take a downward dog or take the left leg up to the sky in a three-legged dog. Lovely. As you inhale, come forwards to plank, lowering the foot. And as you exhale, knees lifted or lowered, come down onto your tummy. Find your cobra, or maybe it's a little upward dog now. Then we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. From your downward dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. So once more at the back of the mat. Bending the knees, sweeping the arms out and up. I'm just going to come to the other end of my mat. And hands coming down to the heart. Beautiful. So again, looking forwards, don't worry if you wobble. So a little step if you've got more things in front of you, like I've got a piece of furniture, so be mindful with those steps. So this time left heel lifts, and then we pick up the knee and take a little baby step forwards, rolling through the foot, shifting the weight, and we lift that back leg into our warrior three. Right knee comes up, ooh, little baby step. Left leg lifts, toes stay turned out as the chest lowers. I'm going to take two more little steps, so gauge the space you've got left. Adjust accordingly. So remember that back leg, toes might stay down on the floor. I'm going to take one more little baby step. Lovely, lifting that back leg. And bringing that left knee up one last time. And then bring both feet down underneath you. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale as you come down into your folds. Lifting up halfway. And this time, left leg, big step back. Spinning your heels in, your toes out, ready for that warrior two. So take a moment to line up your feet. Left arm this time takes a big windmill all the way up. Opening the arms up. Gorgeous. Palms turn up. Front leg straightens as you inhale, arms lift. Keep the hips tucked under as you bring the hands down to the heart, so a little squeeze on the bottom. Inhale, arms lift. And exhale, we come all the way down through the middle. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. See if you can keep the body upright so we're not leaning forwards as you bend that knee. Shoulders stay on top of hips, pause. And we'll take the arms out to the side, coming back into our warrior. This time, right arm as you inhale comes all the way up and over. And exhale, forearm to thigh, top arm up. Or maybe it's alongside your ear. Lovely. One more like that. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, maybe right hand coming down a little bit lower. You need to drop your hips if you're doing that. Last time to reach up and back. And then we'll take that cartwheel of the hands down, framing the front foot. Pivot on the back foot, downward dog, or right leg up and back into a three-legged dog. As you inhale, roll forwards to plank. Knees lifted or lowered, come down, down, down onto your tummy. Last time we pick up the chest, or coming into your cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From your downward dog, let's walk your feet a little bit wider apart. So as you lower down onto your knees, you've got your knees a little bit wider apart than hip width if that's comfortable. Big toes can come together. Maybe resting one hand on top of the other as you find a child pose that's comfortable. And just by finding that little pillow for your head and taking the elbows out wide, we're allowing the shoulders to relax, the chest to sink. Sometimes when we're in our child pose with our arms straight out in front of us, our shoulders can end up around our ears. So let's just see if we can melt the body down there. Allowing the breath to return back to a nice steady rhythm. Lovely. And when you're ready, just releasing the arms out in front of you. So you can walk them back towards your knees, lifting your chest, pointing both knees forwards, bottom to one side, so you can take the legs round in front of you. Pop a little bend in the knees or pop something underneath your bottom if you need to. You're going to sweep the arms up, take an inhale, and come into a little forward fold, hinging forward from the hips. We're not going to stay there. I'm going to walk the hands back up towards you. Lifting up, take an inhale. And hinging forwards as you exhale. Lovely. Last time, walk the hands back up. Inhale to lift. And this time we'll pause and hold. So finding your forward fold, knowing that you can always bend your knees, hold underneath the back of your thighs if your back or hamstrings feel tight today. Otherwise, allowing the body just to move forwards, chin space tucked in. Seeing how that feels this morning. And then from there, slowly, we'll walk the hands back towards you. Let me turn around to face you. And we'll bring that right heel up towards you and allow the knee to open out to the side. Again, you can pop something underneath your knee if you feel it's lifted a little bit. Fingertips on the floor, we'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, let the fingertips just take a little creep forwards, coming down over the leg, not worrying how far you come today into that fold. Just finding somewhere that you can feel a little stretch on the back of the leg. Easy breaths there. And then we'll walk the hands back up, lifting the chest, reaching the arms up, take an inhale. And twist round to the left as you exhale, so bringing that right arm across the body. Inhale through the center. Then we change direction, twisting round to the right. Inhale through the middle. One more over to the left. And this time as you reach the arms up, you're going to bring the right hand behind the hip. Reach the left arm in front of the face. We've got the option to pick up the hips and press them forwards if that feels good. And then slowly lower your way down. Keeping that right heel where it is, we're going to take that left leg out on a slight diagonal there. Left hand on your thigh, on your shin. Or if you can keep your chest forward, you can hook your big toe with your first two fingers. You're going to take that right arm up and overhead. And if that doesn't feel right for your shoulders, you can wrap that hand around your low back and turn your chest forwards. So we do whatever feels good on the shoulders there. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back up. Just bring the hands behind you so you can lean into your hands and bring the soles of the feet together in front of you. Now you might just want to stay there, holding onto your shins, pulling up through the chest. You might be able to take a little lean forwards. Maybe your elbows rest against your knees, bringing the chest forward. You can always take your heels further away from your bottom if you feel your hips are a little tight today. And then lifting up. This time we'll keep the left heel where it is and take the right leg out in front of you. So on the other side. Lovely. Come up onto the fingertips, take an inhale. And then we fold forwards. This side might feel very different as you fold over the leg. Chin stays tucked in there. And then walking the hands all the way back up. Take an inhale to lift the arms. And we'll twist around to the right first of all. So you're twisting towards that straight leg. Inhaling through the middle. And round to the other side, turning the chest. Inhaling up, one more each way, over to the right. And this time we'll take the arms up, bringing that left hand behind your hip. Option one, we keep the hips down as you reach the arm across, or you pick up your hips and come into that lovely little back bend as you take the arm across. Let's come all the way down, down, down. Heel stays in where it is, but we take that right leg out on a diagonal. Right hand on your thigh, your shin, or you can hook your fingers around your big toe as you find that side bend. But keep your chest square. If you feel that your chest is ending up pointing towards the floor, bring that underneath hand a little bit higher so the body is lifted. And remember, you can always get rid of that top arm if it doesn't work for your shoulder. Lovely. Let's come all the way back up. Beautiful. Bringing the hands behind you so you can lean into your hands, soles of feet together, holding onto your shins. You lift up, and maybe you take that little lean forward. So maybe some of you, for a little variation this time, if you're feeling okay in the hips and the back, you can reach your fingertips out in front of you. So you're rounding your back and allowing those knees to drop out to the side. Lovely. Slowly release. Bring the hands to the outside of the knees. Draw them together. Cross the ankles and give yourself, again, a nice big hug. Lovely. And then slowly separating your feet. Hopping on a jumper or socks or anything warm if you need to as you come down onto your back. Bringing your knees with you. And have a little rock side to side there. Just a little massage or circle of your knees. And then bringing both hands onto your right knee. Let that left foot come to the floor. And it might stay there as you hug your knee up and in, or go ahead and slide it out in front of you, pressing the heel down as you hug that knee in. So we're getting a nice stretch out through our lower back. Nice. And then left hand on your right knee. Let's bring that leg across the body into a little twist. So shoulder blade and buttock will lift off the floor probably. And then coming all the way back through the middle. Slide that left foot in and then bring that knee in towards the chest. And again, have a little rock, have a little roll. Before swapping sides, left foot to the floor, both hands on the left knee this time. And if you want to slide that right leg out in front of you so the heel is pressing down and the toes are pointing up, you go ahead. And then we'll bring our right hand onto our left knee. Come into that little twist, so you bring the leg across the middle. Lovely, coming all the way back through center. Knee stays where it is as you bring the other knee in to join it. And the option with one hand on each knee is to take the knees wide, slide the hands down towards the top of your shins, and gently press your heels to your bottom and lengthen your low back into the mat. If you want to join me in happy baby, lifting your head and shoulders, holding on around the inside or outside of your feet. Taking the soles of the feet up to the sky. Maybe you're a playful happy baby, having a little rock side to side. You can always hold on around the back of your calves if you can't quite reach your feet. Same sensation of dropping some weight into your low back. And then wherever you are, let's slowly, slowly bring those knees back in towards your chest. Give them a squeeze, maybe this time nose coming up towards your knees one last time before lowering yourself down and finding a position that works for you for Shavasana. So maybe you want to just keep your knees bent and your feet flat to the floor, or maybe you want to stretch both legs out in front of you. Lovely, eyes are closed. And maybe this is a good point to ask ourselves that same question we asked at the beginning. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Hopefully, having moved our body, given ourselves a little bit of space in what might be a busy day, we might have just shifted that scale away from the zeros and up towards those higher numbers a little bit. And if we've stayed where we are, then at least we've offered ourselves some time, offering ourselves that reassurance that that slide will move up and down on any given day. Nothing is fixed. So take a moment now for the body just to release and settle into stillness. And when you're ready, just start to deepen and lengthen your breath. If you want to just stay on your mat for a little longer, that's fine. If you're ready to face the rest of the day, just begin by bringing some gentle movement into your fingers, your toes, maybe a little roll across the back of your head. And you might want to gently reach the arms back, stretch the legs out, coming into a gentle body stretch, finding all that space behind you. And as you lower the arms, bring your feet in towards you and then give your knees a nice squeeze in towards your chest. There's no rush. And then from there, roll or turn onto one side. Come up to seated when you're ready. Bring the hands together at the heart, dropping your chin down towards your chest, just allowing the shoulders to soften away from your ears. And I hope we have just moved that scale upwards just a notch this morning. So let's take an inhale and reach the arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to your heart. And namaste. Thank you, thank you. Oh, there we go. Thank you, thank you. Ah,